This is the weekly sales meeting for June 14th, 2026. My name is Chris Fleming. You can reach me at chris@cdmediaconsulting.com or go to our website at cdmediaconsulting.com. Today's topic, raise the price to get better clients. Outside sellers are taught early to fear price. Lower it and you will get more yes answers. Raise it and you risk hearing no. That fear is understandable, but it is also misplaced. In broadcast radio and television sales, our price is not just a number. It is a clear signal. It tells the buyer what kind of seller you are. It tells them what kind of experience they can expect. And it tells them how much confidence you have in the value you bring. When sellers compete on price, we believe we are widening the door. It creates more access, more activity, and more selling chances. What we rarely see is the opportunity cost that comes with that decision. Time, attention, and energy are finite resources. When we drop the price, we must raise the volume to make the math work. Volume brings complexity. Complexity brings friction. Over time, that friction erodes both performance and morale. There's a simple pattern that plays out again and again. Lower prices attract buyers who are unsure. Unsure buyers ask for more changes. More changes consume more time. More time spent on one account means less time for others. You end up having fewer and fewer productive conversations. This leads to fewer outcomes. The seller works harder and earns less. That is not a winning strategy. It is a slow leak of time, effort, and money. In contrast, higher prices do something counterintuitive. They repel the wrong buyers and attract the right ones. Buyers who agree to pay more usually do so for one reason. They believe the outcome is worth it. Secondarily, they trust the person who is guiding them. That trust changes the working relationship. This is especially true for us selling broadcast radio or broadcast television. We are not selling commodities. We represent complex platforms that blend reach, frequency, creative execution, timing, and context. When a seller lowers the price, we unintentionally teach buyers that these tools are interchangeable. When sellers raise the price and explain value clearly, we elevate the conversation from cost to impact. I have a retail background, having grown up in it, so I understand the thinking. The idea that lower prices create more opportunity is rooted in that retail thinking. In retail, volume can solve many problems. In outside sales, especially in media, volume often creates them. Each advertiser requires discovery, planning, creative input, execution, and follow-up. Those steps do not shrink just because the invoice does. They expand. Research supports this reality. A study published by the Harvard Business Review found that customers who pay premium prices are more loyal and less costly to serve over time. They require fewer service interactions. They are also more likely to renew. In a business where a seller's time is the most expensive resource on the balance sheet, efficiency creates headroom for salespeople. High-paying clients also value time more than money. This is not an opinion. It is a behavior pattern. Business owners and decision-makers who generate higher revenue tend to focus on leverage. They want fewer meetings, clearer recommendations, and they want faster execution. They do not want to manage vendors. They want real partners. Partner behavior is different from vendor behavior. Vendors wait for instructions. Partners bring ideas. Vendors defend price. Partners defend value in the customer's terms. Vendors react to requests. Partners lead selling conversations. Raising your price forces you to be a partner because you must justify the investment. This is where many sellers hesitate. They worry they do not deserve to charge more. That hesitation leaks into their language, posture, and presentations. The buyer can sense it immediately. Confidence is not arrogance. It is simplicity. When you know why your solution costs what it does, price becomes a fact. It is not a debate. Peter Drucker said the best way to predict the future is to create it. In sales, pricing helps create the future you will live in. Low prices create a future filled with activity and filled with stress. Higher prices create a future filled with focus and respect. Consider how this plays out in a typical media schedule. A lower-priced advertiser often wants to tweak copy repeatedly. They want added value inserted after the fact. They question results without understanding inputs. They will hound you daily with requests for pre-logs and post-logs. They want spot times. When I get those requests, I will often respond with some form of, none of this would be required if you bought enough to be important to begin with. These requests do not make these customers bad people. It makes them uncertain buyers. Uncertainty forces them to exert more control because they have less understanding. It is pure and basic human psychology. A higher-priced advertiser behaves differently. They expect professionalism. They respect process. They ask better questions. They understand that outcomes take time. They listen when the seller explains why something will or will not work. They are not easier because they pay more. They are easier because they trust more. Trust changes the economics of time. When trust is high, decisions are faster, approvals move quickly, creative clears sooner, renewals happen with less friction, referrals appear organically. That is not luck, it is a byproduct of confidence on both sides of the table. The math behind this is simple. 10 clients paying a small monthly amount require 10 times the communication, 10 sets of expectations, and 10 sets of problems. 3 clients paying a premium require fewer conversations and allow deeper work. The revenue may be similar, but the experience is not. This is where opportunity cost becomes visible. Every hour spent managing a low-value account is an hour not spent prospecting, planning, or improving your craft. Over time, that trade-off compounds. Sellers become busy instead of effective. We confuse motion with progress. Marketing author and longtime student of buyer behavior, Seth Godin, has spent decades studying why people choose one provider over another, especially when the stakes are high. Godin put it this way: people do not buy goods and services, they buy trust, confidence, and belief. Buyers who understand that distinction are willing to pay more for confidence, consistency, and expertise. Sellers who understand it stop apologizing for price and start explaining the impact of the solution on the customer's desired outcome. Raising prices also improves the quality of your work. When revenue per client increases, you can afford to invest more time in research. You can study the category. You can bring better examples. You can collaborate more deeply with creative teams. Quality improves because capacity improves. This creates a reinforcing loop. Better work leads to better results. Better results lead to stronger case studies. Stronger case studies justify higher prices. Higher prices attract better clients. The system feeds itself. Lower prices create the opposite loop. Thin margins force shortcuts. Shortcuts reduce quality. Reduced quality weakens results. Weak results require discounts to retain accounts. Discounts attract more price-sensitive buyers. The loop tightens until something breaks. Broadcast radio and television sellers often face pressure to discount because inventory feels perishable. A spot that does not run today cannot be sold tomorrow. That thinking ignores the real product. The product is not the spot. It is the outcome created by thoughtful placement, creative alignment, and sustained presence. When sellers lead with price, they shrink the conversation. When we lead with value, we expand it. Value conversations take more skill, but they protect both your margin and your sanity. There is also a psychological effect at play. Behavioral economists have shown that people assign value based on price cues. Higher prices signal higher quality even before performance is measured. This is called the price-quality heuristic. Buyers use price as a shortcut when evaluating complex offers. Media is complex. Charging more positions you as the expert. Charging less positions you as an option. Options are compared. Experts are trusted. This does not mean raising prices blindly. It means raising them intentionally. It means defining who you want to work with and structuring offers that serve them well. Not every advertiser is a fit. This is not elitism, it is focus. Focus is uncomfortable at first. Saying no feels risky. Over time, it becomes liberating. Sellers who narrow their ideal client profile gain precision perspective. Our presentations improve. Our confidence rises. Buyers respond to that kind of intention. A Gallup study on workplace engagement found that clear expectations is one of the strongest drivers of performance. The same applies to clients. Clear pricing sets those clear expectations. Clear expectations reduce conflict. High-paying clients also tend to be better connected. They operate in circles where recommendations matter. When they trust you, they share your name. Referrals from premium clients are often at a premium by themselves. That is how pipelines improve without adding stress. Underestimate the cost of self-doubt. It is a disease that leads to discounting before resistance appears. It leads to over-explaining. It leads to unnecessary concessions. Buyers rarely ask for discounts from confident professionals who explain value well. Jim Rohn said you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. In sales, you become the average of the clients you serve. Work with indecision long enough and it becomes familiar. Work with decisive partners and it sharpens your skills. Raising price is also a filter. It filters out buyers who want control without commitment. It filters out those who confuse activity with strategy. What remains are partners who want progress. For broadcast sellers, this is more important than ever. Media choices have expanded. Attention is fragmented. Results depend on integration and patience. Sellers who price solutions low are forced into short-term thinking. Sellers who price solutions for value can play the long game. The long game is where broadcast shines. Consistency builds memory. Reach builds credibility. Creative repetition builds trust. These outcomes cannot be rushed or discounted into existence. Research from Nielsen has consistently shown that brands that maintain consistent media presence outperform those that pulse in and out. Consistency requires commitment. Commitment follows confidence, and confidence is reinforced by price. When sellers raise prices and explain why, they invite buyers into a serious conversation. Serious conversations attract serious clients. Serious clients make better partners. This shift often starts internally. Sellers must believe their time has value. If you do not value your time, buyers will not either. Price is one way you can communicate that value without ever saying a word. There is also a leadership component. Managers who support value-based pricing protect their teams. They reduce burnout. They allow sellers to focus on fewer, better relationships. That improves retention and results. The fear of raising prices usually fades after the first few successes. Sellers notice that objections decrease. Conversations improve. Work feels lighter even when expectations are higher. Higher expectations are not the enemy. Unclear expectations are. Premium pricing forces simplicity. This is a trust builder. Trust simplifies the sales process. The outside sales profession rewards those who choose courage over comfort. Competing on price feels safe because it's familiar. Competing on value feels risky because it demands skill. Skill is learned, and better skills lead to confidence. As you know, confidence follows competence. The question is not whether people will pay more. Many already do. The question is whether you are willing to serve them. Raise the price and you raise the standard. Raise the standard and you raise the client. Raise the client and you raise yourself. The cycle works if you let it. My new book, Culture Beats Strategy, 40 Marketplace Lessons for Sellers, is now available on Amazon.com. If you like what you have heard here today, please consider ordering a copy or two. You can always send one to a friend. Go to cdmediaconsulting.com right now and follow the instructions to order.